Professor Dandapat, Professor Mukherjee, and Professor Shukla. Thank you for agreeing to speak with me and taking forward really our conversation to build a master's in computer science course. I understand that this course will have three distinct sections: data structure and algorithm design, communication technologies and networks, as well as embedded systems. Now, since this is our first meeting, I would like us to spend some time on the backward design model of curriculum creation, which is learner centric and used for online course creation. Backward design is a framework which prepares you to be more goal oriented and effective when you teach courses online. And it has got three steps to it. So the first one is identifying the desired outcomes, then determining assessment evidence, and finally planning the learning experience and the instructions. So I'll take you through them step by step. The first is to identify the desired outcomes or objectives. So here you need to list out what the students should learn and what they should be able to do after having taken the courses. So it's basically the key takeaways, right? And to my mind, a good starting point could be to use Fink's taxonomy of significant learning. And there are six aspects of learning in Fink's taxonomy. The first is the foundational knowledge. So, what are the key ideas or concepts that should be there in the course for the students to kind of understand and remember in future? The second is the application side to it. So, what software development skills do the students need to learn? Then there's the integration. So, what connections can students draw from the course and then apply to their professional life? Then the fourth is the human dimension. So, what should the students learn about themselves as users of technology or in fact, software developers? The next one is caring. So, what changes and values should students adopt with regard to interests in ideas in, say, algorithm design? Right? And the sixth one, which is the final one, is called learning to learn. So, what should students learn about how to work with embedded systems? So, by covering these aspects, you will have identified the desired results or the objectives of the course. Then the next step is to determine the assessment evidence. So here we need to focus on what we will accept as evidence of students' understanding and students' proficiency. In this step, we will need to prove that the desired learning objectives or results have been achieved. And a strategy to measure assessments could be by using Bloom's taxonomy. Again, there are six levels to this: remembering, understanding, applying, analyzing, evaluating, and finally creating. The assessments need to be tagged to one of these levels for learning objectives to be measurable and specific. This will help us understand if the assessment evidence tallies with the learning objectives. If they don't, we kind of need to retrofit the assessments so that the evidence tallies with the learning objectives. And the final step is to plan the learning experience, the concepts, the principles, the frameworks that the students will need to learn in order to achieve the course objectives. And here we kind of focus on what is to be taught, the content of the lectures, the resources like downloadable handouts and readings, and activities that you intend for the students, in order to provide them with opportunities for peer discussion, peer learning, and also give them tasks which mimic real life situations. Now, as I said earlier, this course is going to be online, so it will be asynchronous and self-paced. So it's critical that it be learner-centric. And it's going to be possible that if we use backward design, the specific and measurable objectives would help employers know exactly what the learners know from this course, and it would help the learners also advance in their careers. So, therefore, it is important to keep the end in mind before we begin developing these kind of courses, and that's why backward design.